Okay, so good morning to everyone. Maybe we can now start our discussion for today while waiting for the others or while others are entering our Zoom room. This time may I request Janice. Janice, are you there? This is a combined class now of Filipino majors and science majors. So may I request Janice Evangelista to please lead us a prayer. Janice, are you there? Hello? Wala ba akong speaker? Janice, are you there? Tingnan natin kung dito. Sige, si ano na lang. Janice, wala na si Janice. Mahina siguro ang kanyang internet. May request Donna V. Donna V. Cabaral to please lead us a prayer. Donna V.
Naka-speaker.
Meron.
Good morning po. So,
Yes.
let's pray. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Lord, thank you for this day, for giving us again another opportunity to learn. Bless us all, Lord, as we go through our learning process. Lord, may you give us wisdom to understand and comprehend every lesson that our professor will give. Lord, ikaw na pong bahala sa amin. Ingatan at gabayan mo po kami sa pang-araw-araw, ilayo sa kapahamakan. And ikaw na po ang siyang mag-bless ng bawat isa sa amin. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Donna, for that prayer. So today, our discussion will be about Module 2 of our topic, which is about the social, ethical, and legal responsibilities in the use of technology tools and resources. So we accept it or not, we now live in a digital world. So what are the digital world that you live in? Do you belong to a certain digital community? If yes, what are these digital communities that you live in? So at the end of this 2-hour session, we will try to identify digital media, technologies, and communities. We compare and contrast online communities to offline communities. We try to evaluate appropriate technology use, understand the rights and responsibilities of a digital citizen, and participate respectfully and responsibly in an online community. Okay, so before we begin, and para kasi kaninang umaga to, sino pa ang katulad ko dyan na nagkakape hanggang ngayon? Alam nyo ba na yung kape ko noong 6:30 a.m. is still here? So let's drink coffee. Hindi pa ako nagbe-breakfast. Pero dire-diretso kasi ang klase natin ngayon. So ayan, nagko-coffee din si Jim Well. Coffee is life, Jim. Okay, let's drink a coffee for this. So ngayon, sa mga walang kape dyan, if letter A is the black coffee, ito nakikita itong super black coffee dito, saan dyan ang kape ninyo? Letter A itong black coffee. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. May I see on the comment section? Asan dyan ang kape ninyo? Everyone, please participate. Ayan, grabe naman si Eliza. Talagang letter A ang kape niya, no? Matapang. Ayan, the same with Kathleen and Angelica. A talaga. You know what? Pure coffee is also healthy, no? It removes toxins from our... Ayan, di nagkakape. Nagagatas. Yung letter H is gatas yun. Baka mas gusto nyong milk. You prefer milk than coffee. Yan si Jimwell naman parang medyo tumatapang konti yung sa kanya, no? Nasa letter B lang siya. Ayan, H naman si Jewel, talagang the same with Clarissa. And 'di ba napakasarap ng kape, no? Kapag nai-stress tayo, uminom lang tayo ng kape, maamoy lang natin yung aroma niya. Ayan, wala na tayong problema. Ayan, okay. So thank you very much for sharing your coffee. Next time we will have a coffee party pag nagkita-kita tayo. So this time we will now proceed to this game. We have a game. So what you will do is to guess, to identify what word is being described in each statement. So lahat kayo magpa-participate. The first two who will get the correct answer will be the winner. So you earn your points all throughout this session at bibigyan ko ng load yung may pinakamataas na points. So kailangan lang natin dito is to practice our reflexes. Yan, yung mga fingers natin, no? Medyo galaw-galaw tayo para mabilis tayong mag-type. Okay, let us see. Let's start. Are you ready? What C is an inhabitant or member of a community, one who is entitled to the rights and privileges of it, a native who owes allegiance to a government or organizing body, and is entitled to protection from it. Ayan, sige, everyone, please participate. Ayan, sige. Iilan lang nagpa-participate pa lang. Everyone, please participate. I want all of you to use the chat box. Tingnan natin kung sino ang pinakauna. So, the first two is, the correct answer is citizen. Very good to Jimuel and Clarissa. One from the science group and one from the Filipino group. So a citizen, all of us are citizen. Okay, because we are all inhabitant of, or member of a certain community. Okay, next one. Are you ready? What D is characterized by electronic and computerized technology? What D is characterized by technology, by computerized technology or electronic? Ayan, ang bibilis ng mga fingers ng iba, talagang sobrang na-practice na nila. Their reflexes are so fast. So tingnan natin. Ayan, isang sagot. Aba, lumalaban. So, the correct answer is digital. One from the science group, that's Villamor, and one from Filipino, the same, Clarissa. It's digital. Yan, very good. So 2 points for Clarissa. Habol tayo. Ayan yung iba, hindi ko pa nakikitang nagtatype yung iba. Everyone, please participate. We are 30 in the Zoom room. So I encourage everyone to participate kahit nasabi na, ilagay nyo pa rin, kopyahin nyo na lang. Kung sa tingin ninyo, that is the correct answer for it. Okay? So digital is characterized. So anything na computerized siya is what we call digital. Next, are you ready? The next will be, what GC is a well-understood concept relating to how one participates in and contributes to the world. Ayan. So, tingnan natin. Go, everyone. Sige, kahit sa comment lang kayo magkapuntos. Yan, 11 pa lang nagchat-chat. How about the others? 12. Okay, yan, 13, 14. Well understood concept. Take note, it's a concept. Relating to how one participates. Okay, ano kaya ito? On how one participates. What is this? Okay. The correct GC. The correct answer is global citizenship. Very good. So we got 1 point for Karen. Okay, 2 science major ang nauna dito. Karen and Jewel. So 1 point for you, Karen and Jewel. The correct answer is global citizenship. Now, next. This global citizenship is not new to you na. This was being discussed in your first year subjects. Global citizenship is one way of being or bringing the youth as the new leaders, the new hope for the world. What DC is a holistic approach and positive approach to helping users learn how to be safe. Ayun, di ba? Sobrang bilis naman mag-type ng iba. Parang handang-handa na sila, no? Yung tipong hindi ko pa binabasa, alam na agad nila yung sagot. Ayan. Sige, what this is a holistic and positive approach to helping users learn how to be safe and secure, as well as smart and effective participants in a digital world. You know, being a digital citizen, this digital citizenship is helping them understand. The correct answer is digital citizenship. Okay, let us see. Sino tong mga nauna? Digital citizenship. Okay. Sino ang nakakuha ng puntos? That's Eliza and Hailin Faye. Walang dinirect message pa ako ni Hailin. So 1 point for Hailin and 1 point for Eliza. Okay, very good. So this digital citizenship is more on helping users to understand their rights and responsibilities. What else? Recognizing the benefits and risk and realize the personal and ethical implications on their actions. This digital citizenship is helping us to become a good digital citizen, in which it cuts across various areas, all curricular disciplines, which includes knowledge, awareness, and skills in various areas. So, if we try to connect the two, we have this global digital citizenship. But what is really global digital citizenship? You know what? Being a global digital citizen is not just being a citizen on Earth. Okay? It is a way of living. It is a way of living well in a world that is fast changing and showing others on how they do the same. So, this global digital citizens is two citizens in one. Bakit? Kasi we have a certain community in an online world, di ba? Meron tayong mga various communities. What are your various communities in the online world? Anyone from the group? Ano yung mga online communities natin? Aside from social media, so do you belong in a Facebook community? Kasali ba kayo sa YouTube community? Aside from that, ano pa yung mga community na kinabibilangan ninyo? What are your roles within this community? So by and by, we try to discuss those. Okay? So being a global digital citizen, you must be responsible, okay, or ethical citizen, okay, leveraging technology so that you can foster community on a global scale through, of course, connection and compassion. Okay? As a future teachers, you must always realize that there is a need for guidelines for the acceptable use of this certain connected technology. As what we've said earlier, digital citizenship is a term, okay, that describes how we must behave in the online world. Okay? So there are various policies and programs being created. Okay? That this must be an acceptable use policy for us to what? To protect ourselves from online predation and cyberbullying. So, how do you protect yourself in the online world? Is this the same as how do you protect yourself in the offline world? Anyone from the class who wants to recite or say something? How do you protect yourself in the digital world or in the online world? Anyone from the group? Yes. Okay, we'll be back. Ako lang ako ng tubig ko. While you are thinking for your answer. Okay, so in the comment section, Clarissa says by being private. Okay, that's your way on how you protect yourself in the online world. How about the others? How do you protect yourself? How do you behave in the online world? Yes, Bill?
Sir, ang ginagawa ko po respeto ko lang kung anong mga comment na lang po nila. Kung bad yung comment, hindi ko na lang po sasawsawan para hindi po magkaroon ng haters po.
Okay, that's good, no? You do not participate in various contents in the online world that can harm yourself also. Okay? So, by being in the digital world kasi, 'di ba? Ang access natin is unlimited. But for others who have no internet connection or have no means, no gadget, so naihinder sa kanila ang pagiging digital citizens. Because of the expansion of wired and wireless data, okay, nagkaroon ng explosion ng various devices in which we are now capable to connect in various network. Okay? And now the new reality is we now live in both the digital and the real world. Okay? So digital connected technology is just the same na part na yan ng ating buhay. Parang refrigerator na yan nakasali sa buhay natin. Okay? Parang electric one or any devices na. So dati kasi if you have cell phones, you can connect to internet, parang iba pa, di ba? Pero ngayon, it's a necessity na in our lives. Okay? So that is why, as the digital part of our world, this digital citizenship is now a component, okay, of global citizenship. That is why we have this global digital citizenship. But ano nga ba ang difference ng global citizen sa digital citizen? Okay? In the comment in the chat box, I want you to say DC if that describes about digital citizen, and you type GC, global citizen, if that talks about global citizen. Okay? I want everyone to participate. We are 33 in the Zoom room. I'm expecting that all of you will participate. Okay? First question and first statement, you identify whether this is DC or GC. Adheres to guidelines that govern the ethical and responsible use of technology. Okay, yan. Very good. Yan. Direct current, DC. So when you adhere to guidelines that govern the ethical and responsible use of the world of technology, that is digital citizen. How about this? Concerns how we participate in and contribute to the entire world. Ayan, GC. Basic lang yan, no? Parang ano ninyo. So, how do we tie these two? Marami pa to actually. How do we tie this digital and global together? Paano natin sila pagsasamahin in one frame? Okay? The global digital citizen understand how we can govern technology for the benefit of ourselves and others. So as a citizen of this, we view the world as an interconnected community. Napapansin nyo, dati we cannot communicate or collaborate with other nationality. But this time, may kachat akong Amerikano, may kachat akong Australiano. Okay, we are exchanging thoughts and ideas. So there is no barrier na. There is no boundary. It's limitless. It's boundless. Okay? In which we realize that there is a simultaneous share of technological and human experiences regardless kung anong culture meron ka, anong status or anong political belief meron ka. Okay? So we will try to identify the 5 tenets of global digital citizenship. Okay? So what are these 5 tenets of global digital citizenship? Before that, let's have first the continuation of the game. What DL is learning how to find, sort, manage, evaluate, and create information in digital forms. Okay, everyone, please. Ayan, bilis ng mga kamay. What DL is learning how to find, sort, manage, evaluate, and create information in digital forms. So the correct answer is digital literacy. So thank you for those who participated. Meron tayong 18. Check natin kung sino yung mga nauna. Nauna is Kathleen and Angelica Talose. Okay, congratulations, you've got it right. And for those who also got the correct answer. So are we now digitally literate? How do you assess now yourself? From the scale of 1 to 10, how digital literate are you? You know what kasi, this digital literacy is different from the traditional literacy of reading and writing. Okay? This digital literacy skills is somewhat more on the digital forms. Kapag meron ba tayong nabasa, how do we check its reliability? How do we find information on the internet? How do we search? Do we go on a reliable source? How do we manage these resources that we have? If you're able to do that, then you are now a digital literate. Okay, so that's very good. If your answer is more than 5, that's good for you. Anyway, you're still a student, you're still developing this type of literacy. Okay, next, what S and S is understanding. This is actually S and S. Understanding the risk that we face from others, as well as from our own conduct, and the dangers posed by application like viruses and phishing. Take note, this is S and S. Kulang na lang ng isang SSSS na, di ba? Social Security System. Okay. Okay, but then, nakuha niya. Okay, sige. Since everyone is answering security, you've got the second word, the security. What S and security? What is that? Go, you still have time to think. You understanding the risk that we face from others, as well as from our own conduct, and the dangers posed by applications like viruses and phishing. What is this another S and security? Self-security. Sige. Ano kaya? This is actually my end yan, ha? S and S. Safe and security. Okay, sige. Malapit yan na. Safe and security. Okay, sige. How about the others, Messi? Safety and security. That's very good. That's nice. Jimwell, you're correct. O, may isa pa. Sino magsasagot to get the points? Okay, yeah. So, Villamor and Jimwell got it right. Safety and security. So, we must understand what are the risks that we face from others, not only from the offline world, but also in the digital world. Okay? Next, are you ready? This include access and participation, free speech, community, privacy, physical and psychological safety, safety of identity and of material and intellectual property. Take note of digital citizen. What is this word? R, include access. Yeah, very good. The correct answer is rights. Yan, everyone is, yan, sige, go. Rights, yan. Thank you for those who are participating in the comment section. And Jimwell, nakilang points na si Jimwell. Naku, marami ng load si Jimwell, di na niya kailangan ng load. Okay, so Jimwell got it correctly and right lang kasi yung kay Donav, baka right and left yun. So, ang nakuha is, kulang kasi. Nakakuha is Jimwell and let us see. Yan, magalaw itong aking anak. Jimwell and Eliza. 2 points na rin si Eliza. And next. Next is the pair of this. Include respect and civility to self and others, protecting own others' rights and property, Okay, parang naka-ready na agad yung iba, ano? Hindi ko pa sinasabi, ano na. Include. Tama, include. Kasi kung includes, sana yan. Okay, sige. Okay, very good. The correct answer is responsibilities. Okay, very good. Ayan, Jimwell. Responsibilities. It's Eliza and Kathleen. Okay, congratulations. So, if we have rights in the digital world, just as we have rights also in our offline worlds, we also have this responsibility on how we should behave, on how we should act, how do we protect, okay, our own rights and other rights. Okay? So, we now begin with the 5 tenets of global digital citizenship. So the first tenet is personal responsibility. This personal responsibility includes demonstrating how we should manage ourselves in various matters. Paano ba natin minamanage ang sarili natin? For example, in terms of personal finance, how do we manage our finance? Basta lang ba tayo pag binibigyan ba tayo ng allowance, which is how do we manage that one? How about in our ethical and moral boundaries? Okay, how do we manage it? How do we interact? Okay, how do we apply our ethics even in communicating or collaborating digitally or virtually? How about in our personal health and wellness? Minsan kasi nakakaligtaan natin ito, no? Dahil ngayon puro computer ng kaharap natin, minsan nakakaligtaan natin na we take care of ourselves. Are we doing various physical activities? Okay, nagja-jogging ba tayo? Okay, naglalakad man lang dyan sa ating paligid? Or we wake up, we face the computer, and then in the afternoon, we go back again to our bed, nakahiga lang ba tayo? You know, if you are responsible, this is one of the tenets of global digital citizenship, because you must be responsible personally on your own self. Okay? You must take ownership. This is very important, especially to you as a student. This kind of responsibility, this personal responsibility means you are taking ownership of your own learning, lalo na ngayon. Okay, kayo kayo ay responsible kung ano yung matututunan ninyo at ano yung gusto ninyong matutunan. Halimbawa, hindi tayo nagmi-meet, synchronous lang yung time na we can meet talaga, na I can see you or I can update you. What are you doing kapag once na asynchronous classes natin? Are you having it? Are you using your time wisely by learning your lessons? How do you view about outputs or requirements in certain courses? Okay. Do you just make these requirements for submission purposes? Or you are doing this, or you're taking advantage of this to learn something? Okay, that must be your goal. Anyway, you still have so much time. Your goal is not just to submit requirements, but to learn from it. What can I learn from this concept? What can I learn from this activity? Okay, makakatulong ba ito later on when I take the licensure examination? Is this activity can help me later on as a future innovative teachers? So we must be responsible in our own self. No? We are accountable for our own lifelong learning. Bakit? Because you must prepare yourself in the workplace. Kung ano yung student na gusto natin in the future. Okay, these are the attributes that I want from my student. So ngayon pa lang, dapat pina-practice nyo na. Okay, so these are the things that I want my students to be. So these are the things that I must do now. So that later on, okay, hindi mo pa sinasabi sa mga students mo, alam na nila, nararamdaman na nila that you are that kind of teacher. Okay? We must often think and act independently, and we should take initiatives on our own. Now, by having this, we can develop high-level critical thinking and problem-solving abilities in order to assist our students in various aspects in our lives. So what do you think are the ideas? Ano ang mga pwede nating ipagawa later on sa mga students natin so that we can have this personal responsibility? Anyone? If you are shy to say it out loud, you can put it in the comment section. What are the activities na pwede nating ipagawa in our classroom so that we can instill this personal responsibility to our students? Okay, mag-recite. Tatawag nga ako. Sige, check naman tayo sa iba. Sino ang gusto? Ayan, from Jimwell, constant monitoring. Okay. Who else? How can we instill this personal responsibility to our students? Let's try Kathleen. Kathleen, any thoughts on this? Ayan, nasa na si Kathleen? Any thoughts on this, Kathleen? Ayan, parang wala atang ano, siguro hindi pa gising si Kathleen. Anyone? You know, we have various ideas on how we can instill this. So sabi nga ni Jimwell, by constantly monitoring your student. What do we monitor? When we give responsibilities or project management roles. So halimbawa, nagpa-groupings tayo sa certain classes. Okay, Jimwell, you are the leader of this group. So, i-monitor mo siya. So, pag once na binibigyan mo kasi ang role ng mga students, there they have I am responsible for this group. Okay? But even if you're not the leader of that group, you can also have this personal responsibility. How? Okay? By actively participating. Very good. You can have various roles in a certain group. Hindi yung puro si lahat. O siya ang mag-encode, siya ang mag-layout, siya ang mag-live stream, siya ang mag-record, di ba? Dapat ganun. There's a division of labor na tulad nga ng sabi ni Jim. What else? We encourage our students. Are you setting your own learning goals or milestone? For example, this week, I should finish this. Okay? By this term, dapat natutunan ko na kung paano gamitin itong app na ito. Yun, those are the different ways on how we can instill this personal responsibility. Okay, and then we also lead to self and peer assessment techniques. Or as a teacher, you can use flipped learning strategies. That is learning online or offline. Okay, so that is how personal responsibility is being important. Next tenet is being a global citizen, or what we call the global citizenship. Okay. Ayan, sige, Kathleen. Yan, assessment. That's good. And that's part of it, no? Portfolio assessment, and then for example, you let your students assess. Ikaw nga mag-check nitong assessment, itong portfolio ni, sino yan? Ni Rosemary. Okay. O ikaw naman, Donna V, ikaw naman ang mag-check sa portfolio ni, sino ba itong mga to? Jimwell. Okay, di ba nakikita ninyo? You're giving responsibility to certain students. By giving them responsibility, na-feel nila, na-develop nila yung pagiging critical thinkers nila. Okay, so what is global citizenship? Gas-gas na to sa atin, di ba? You can see here, be a leader for the future. What does it take to be a global citizen? You know, because of technology, this technology is very helpful to us. It dissolved the boundaries between all the world's people. Nakuha? We can now communicate, we can now collaborate, or we can now celebrate across all levels of society. Kaya nga, I instructed you to attend, okay, the Digital Citizenship webinar. That's actually, and for youth, that's an international digital citizenship webinar, and that's a requirement of our course. So can I say a thumbs up kung nakapag-register na doon sa link na yon? Tingnan ko nga kung ilan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Yan, 8 pa lang. Nakita ninyo? 9. Hindi pa pala kayo nakaregister. You register on the link that I sent to you in the chat, in our group chat. That will be a requirement in the course. Oh, to be honest, sino dito ang hindi pa nakaregister doon? Mag-register na kayo habang hindi pa nag-close. Once na nag-close yun, you lack a certain requirement in our course. You register there. That is a continuation of our module 2. Okay? So, why it is very important, this global citizenship, especially when we deal with our students. Why do we need to instill this to our students? Because you must realize, okay, among other things, you must realize that we are not isolated from each other anymore. Hindi na tayo yung, ay, taga-Pilipinas lang, sila lang ang pwedeng mag-collaborate. Ngayon, across various nations, pwede na kayong makisali sa mga engagement. Oh, di ba? Yung iba, meron ng kachat ng mga other citizens, Amerikano, Australiano, Arabo. Okay, but by sharing information, thoughts, and ideas, you're being responsible on how you act digitally. Okay? So, when we encourage our students, okay, with the concept of, ang concept kasi ng global citizenship is what we call global interconnectedness. Okay? If we have this global interconnectedness, then we can encourage our student to be aware sa mga issues, sa mga traditions, sa mga values, or other cultures of citizens, di ba? Dati-dati hindi natin alam yung kultura ng mga, kahit nga dito sa Philippines eh. But because of this technology, we can now able to see virtually, okay, some of their traditions or etc. And by having this can lead to the understanding and acceptance and compassion. We should always be compassionate. Tingnan nyo nangyari ngayon sa Israel. Alam ba natin na may gera sa Israel ngayon without the technology? Okay? Siguro malalaman natin pero it will take time. So kung gano'n, alam na natin, as a responsible digital citizen, anong gagawin natin? Ano may makikisaw-saw ba tayo sa mga news na yan? And then we will tell something. Although we have this thing called free speech, or we must be responsible enough on what we say in social media. So how do we do this? You must involve in various international organizations, international connections, international conferences. Kaya nga pinapa-attend ko kayo dun sa ating webinar na iyon. Okay? Then next one is the digital citizenship. So actually this digital citizenship has these 9 elements. Okay, these 9 elements is sometimes yung mga iba is cannot experience this. Okay? So first one is the digital access. When you say digital access, everyone must have the full electronic participation in society. But as what we say, where there is this concept that we call digital exclusion. This digital exclusion kasi na tinatawag ay this is being experienced by certain community who have no means, okay, no means of accessing the digital world. Walang mga internet, walang signal, walang mga devices. Okay, so that is why the government must take action on this. Especially we are now living, okay, in a digital world. Talagang papunta na tayo, thanks God, na actually this is the positive effect of pandemic, no? But we're not saying that na it's good thing na nagkaroon ng pandemic. This is the positive, okay, positive impact of the pandemic. The education sector ay talagang naipush na itong the use of Industrial 4.0, interconnectedness. Okay, next is digital commerce. We participate on this, especially when we buy or when we sell goods, di ba? Meron tayo yung mga online selling na tinatawag. We buy our clothes, our foods via the internet or certain apps like Lazada, Shopee. Okay? So yun yung mga paraan na various ways. It's a digital commerce. Knowing how to be an effective consumer, okay, in this digital economy. Kayo ba, you made use of this digital commerce wisely? Okay, chinecheck na bang mabuti yung mga pinagbibili ninyo? Naloko na ba kayo? Is there a moment in which you buy something, expectation versus reality na tinatawag? Okay? Next concept is what we are doing right now. Okay, the digital communication. There is an electronic exchange of information. Okay? Meron tayong ito, just what we are doing now. We share ideas, you share your own ideas, we collaborate with one another. This is the way on how we teach you. And next is digital literacy. Ito naman is a process, what we said earlier, process of teaching and learning about technology and how to use the technology. Because even if we have the technology, but we do not use this positively, okay, or we do not know the correct usage of this technology, then it is useless. Kaya nga meron tayong mga tinatawag na various models na as what they have discussed, the TPAC model. You have the technology, you have the content, you have the pedagogy. How do you fuse all of this to come up with a very good content? Okay, to come up with a very good presentation. That is what we are doing. And next is the digital etiquette. This is actually the electronic standards of conduct or procedures. Okay, do we practice this one, yung mga digital etiquettes natin? Ano yung mga digital etiquettes na alam natin? Anyone from the class, will you give me one digital etiquette that you know? Or sometimes we call it as netiquette. Netiquette. Bigay nga ng isa. Okay, may see on the chat box. Can you give me a digital etiquette that you practice? Na talagang yun ang ginagawa ninyo ever since. When you are participating, when you enter in the digital world, ay, dapat ito yung mga ano ko. These are the values that I have. Okay, these are the reminders na lagi kong dapat isa-isip. What are those? What are these digital etiquettes that we know? Meron ba? Do we practice digital etiquettes or netiquettes? O ayan, everyone, please mag-recite lahat dun sa ating chat box. Even a sentence word may do. Okay. From Princess Eliza is respecting others' privacy. That's correct. No? Pero minsan kasi, ayan, stock ng stock. Ayan, nasa napunta ay sino ito hanggang nakarating ka na. For Belgium, okay, he acknowledged the cultural differences. That's correct. That's one of the digital etiquette. Hindi yung nagre-react lang tayo sa certain content. May nabasa tayo. Okay? Tapos biglang, nag-comment na tayo na mali ang ganyan. So dapat, you should know. Just like in a real world or in the face-to-face world, di ba? The same etiquette is being practiced in the digital world. Ayan, appropriate language for Abigail Baltasar. That's correct. Okay, we must be mindful in everything that we say and everything that we comment. Hindi yung nakikiride on tayo. Take note, we are future teachers. We are trying to build a certain image. That is certain image in the reality, in the face-to-face world. But this time, the image. Kasi alam niyo, employers nowadays, if you apply to a certain school or certain company, inaalam ang iyong Facebook account. Bakit? Kasi doon na sila nagba-background check. Ay, tinang ko nga kung ano ang pinagagawa nitong si Mike Edson na ito sa digital world. Ano yung mga pinagsishare niya, saan siya na-engage. Ganon. Kaya we must be very mindful on what we share in social media. Nakuha? Okay. Yes. And that is, ayan, tumatawa si Mike Edse. Okay. We filter information. Kaya nga, dapat tingnan natin mabuti. Sino ba yung mga fina-follow natin? Sino yung sinusubscribe natin? You know what? Last time kasi, di ba, minsan meron tayong mga moments na nai-stress tayo, ganyan. Na kailangan natin ng break. But of course, hindi tayo makalabas dahil bawal nga, tapos sobrang init pa. So minsan nagre-rely na lang tayo sa ating digital world. Napunta ako sa YouTube. So I am scrolling sa YouTube. Then meron akong isang napanood na napanood na isang segment. I think that is the channel of Tony Gonzaga ata yun, na meron siyang interview with Candy Pangilinan. And then their topic is all about inclusion. Okay? Ano ulit yung, ano ba yung channel na yun? Basta that's YouTube channel of YouTube Gonzaga.
Tony Talks, sir.
Yes, Donna V. Yan, Tony Talks. Panoorin ninyo. You know what? I watch one segment and that is about inclusion. Ano? Kasi yung anak ni Candy Pangilinan has something to do. Meron siya special ability. So as I watch that certain video, dun ko na-feel yung nawawala yung stress mo kasi the content is all about spiritual, no? How to grow spiritually, by how to grow spiritually and your mental health. So if you have time, you know what? Dapat yun yung mga, I'm not saying na yun ang mga subscribe ninyo. Pero that is the real meaning. Okay, that is the real example of an influencer. Kaya tingnan ninyo mabuti, pag bukas ba ng YouTube ninyo, ano agad yung mga videos na sunod-sunod dyan? Ano yung mga recommended? You know what, sa Facebook, ganun din. Di ba? Ano yung mga recommended videos nandyan? The recommended videos, that means yun yung mga engagement inyo in the digital world. Okay? Next is digital law, just the same. We have law in the real world. We also have law in the digital world. So this is by having the electronic responsibility for actions in this. Just because we have responsibility, we also have this digital rights. And of course, this digital health and wellness. No, even in using these various apps, we must also consider this digital health and security. Okay, what are the electronic precaution that we practice, that we guarantee safety? Are we safe? Okay, are we safe in our digital world? How safe are we? So yun yung mga isaalang-alang natin. Next concept is altruism. What is altruism again? You have learned this in your ethics class. Altruism is a moral principle na ano yun? What is altruism? So if you can see here in the word cloud, ano yung mga nababasa natin dyan? Participating, friendship, okay, friends, selfless, charity. What does it mean when you say altruism? Altruism is a principle or a moral practice of concern of happiness of others. So altruism is mas concern ka, unselfish concern for the happiness of others. Okay? And this is one of the tenets of a global digital citizen. This altruistic service. So this is having a selfless concern for the well-being of others. Ngayon, ano yung nakikita natin? Ano yung sikat na sikat ngayon? That portrays altruism. What is the thing na trending ngayon na that portrays? Yes, very good. That is community pantry. Meron ba sa inyo nakapag-participate sa community pantry? Okay. So if you do this, ibig sabihin, mas concerned ka sa happiness ng iba. Okay, mas concerned ka dun sa needs ng others. And that is very good. Why do we need to apply this one? Okay, because this is an opportunity to exercise the charity and goodwill for the benefit of others. Why it is very important, especially to our students, to provide altruistic service. Because when we provide altruistic service, what will happen? We create meaningful connections to the real world. Okay? And we are giving them chance to reach out to others. Nagkiki-participate ba tayo sa mga ganitong klaseng activities? Okay? And by reaching out to others, okay, we do things that can make a person's experience better or easier in everyday life. So when we help others, when we're being charitable, okay, we try to help others, we make their life easier. Okay, this produces a sense of community and well-being for all. Di ba sabi nga sa community pantry, magbigay ayon sa kakayahan, kumuha, what do community pantry says? Kumuha ayon sa pangangailangan, magbigay, batay sa kakayahan. Okay? So that is a very good practice. So how do we do this? We create fundraising campaigns, okay, charitable acts, and you volunteer in various organizations, even in digital world, okay, so that we can have the promotion, okay, of the well-being for everyone. Okay. Next tenet is this one. Anong tenet kaya ito of the global citizenship? This tenet is environmental stewardship, because we are all stewards in our world. Without the world we live in, we are nothing. Nakita ninyo ang sinasabi ng pandemic sa atin? The nature can stand without human, but human cannot stand without nature. So we must take care of our world, of our environment. Okay, we should have an appreciation. We instill the appreciation for the beauty, okay, that surround us every day. By being an environmental steward, we encourage, okay, yes, we encourage on exploring how we can practice. So how do you practice ba? Okay, the conscientious use of Earth's resources. Are we using the Earth's resources wisely? Diyan ba sa bahay natin, tayo ba ang nangunguna sa pagsisegregate ng basura? Tayo ba ang nangunguna sa pagpatay ng mga devices kapag hindi ginagamit? Or tayo pa yung, sige, hayaan mo lang nakasaksak yan. Maliwanag naman pero naka-open ang ilaw. Hayaan mo lang. May pambayad naman ng kuryente. Tayo ba yung tipong taong ganon? Or tayo yung, oy, tingnan mo, you must be mindful on the resources that you are using. Okay? Dapat ganon tayo, we instill that in our hearts. Meron ba dito nagsisegregate ng basura sa bahay nila? If yes, that's very good. Dito sa time ng pandemic na to, that we stay in our homes, nasubukan ba nating magtanim kahit isang puno or isang halaman man lang? If hindi pa, ayan, magising ka na, magtanim ka naman kahit isa lang. The oxygen that we breathe comes from our Mother Nature. And how do we contribute? We contribute by planting trees. Okay, by taking care of our resources. Nakuha? Because we have only one world that we all live on. So it is very important that we must respect it, respect as much as we respect ourselves, we respect our environment. We take steps, gawa tayo ng mga ibang paraan on how we can ensure the beauty and take note, the longevity. Paano natin mas mapapatagal pa itong ating mundo? Okay? Because we are now thinking for our future generations. So dapat maging environmental stewards tayo. So on how do we apply this? Yun nga, recycling, we recycle, we segregate, yung 3R na tinatawag, di ba? Reuse, reduce, recycle. We plant trees. We're responsible in every resources that we have. Hindi yung hinahayaan lang natin na nakasaksak lang yung mga devices na wala alamang gumagamit. Naka-open yung TV natin, nasa-cellphone tayo. Ano yun, props lang ba? Okay, ganon. No? You must be mindful of that. Kahit yung mga simple ways lang. Okay? So again, what are the 5 tenets of global digital citizenship? Anyone? Bigay nga. Let's have a review. What are the 5 tenets of a global digital citizenship? Raise your hand. Okay, Jim Well, that's personal responsibility. Who else wants to recite? Personal responsibility. From Princess, global citizenship. And Kathleen, what else? Sino pa? Ano pa? What are the other 3? Yes, digital citizenship, altruistic service, and the last one is environmental stewardship. Okay, so I hope everyone understood that concept about the tenets of global digital citizenship. Okay, now the question here is, why do we need global digital citizen? I want everyone to participate in this. Okay? Why is developing global digital citizens in our schools so important to the present and the future? You raise your hand if you want to recite. And how can knowing and practicing all this help? Okay? O, tinan ninyo, para akong may corona sa ulo. To answer this, I want you to start your statement. If you want to take it personally, then you start it by saying personally. Okay? If not, globally, we apply the 5 tenets. Globally, or digitally, or altruistically, and environmentally. Kahit isa lang dyan. Why is developing global digital citizens in our schools so important to the present and the future? And how can knowing and practicing all this help? Okay? Ayan, magtatawag ako magpaparecite ako ngayon. If you will not recite, that means you don't want to participate in the discussion. Let us see. Kahit mamili lang kayo, kahit isa lang dyan, ang sagutin ninyo. Why it is very important to develop global digital citizens in our school. Especially kayo, mga pre-service teachers kayo. Anyone who wants to recite? Anyone from the group? No one volunteers, I will call someone or I tagi-isa lang dyan. Yes. Kathleen, would you mind to read it aloud, your thought on this, and if you want to expand it? Kathleen.
To keep up with the ever-changing world, sir. Kasi kasi po sir, yung mundo natin ngayon patuloy sa pagbabago, sir. Umuusbong yung mga makabagong teknolohiya at makabagong pamamaraan ng pamumuhay natin. Kaya itong pagtuturo sa atin na ay kaya sa wait lang po. Kaya mahalaga sa atin na mahalaga na mahubog na ngayon pa lang ng mga estudyante, mahubog siya bilang isang global digital citizen. Ganun, sir.
Yes,
Para hindi siya
good.
mahuli, sir, tapos para hindi siya mahuli.
Yes, so globally we should see the diversity. Okay, everyone have, especially we should see the harmony or the connection in a world transforming as rapidly as ours, tulad nga ng sabi mo, to keep up with the ever-changing world, because even as technologically intertwined as we are now, we are technologically intertwined, correct? There is also a level of disconnection to our lives. So we must understand the diversity of everyone. So that is by answering globally. Thank you, Kathleen. How about the others? How do you take it? Personally, digitally, altruistically, or environmentally? Anyone from the group? Yung mga di pa nagre-recite dyan? Yes. Okay, may nagre-raise ng hand. Go, take it away.
Sir, iti-take ko na lang po yung 5, sir.
Wow, okay, go.
Sir, bilang isang estudyante or aspiring teacher, sir, ito yung magiging responsibility namin, sir, na ituro din in the coming future, sir. So, dapat sa sarili namin, sir, is ma-acknowledge na namin na dapat kailangan yun, sir. Kaya dapat yun yung bigyang tuon din, sir, sa pagiging global digital citizenship, sir.
Okay, sige, thank you, Bill Jim. What else? Who else? Last one. Who wants to recite? Ayan, yung mga iba hindi pa nagpa-participate, di ko pa naririnig ang boses nila ng buong semester, ng buong term. Sino? Eileen, you're raising your hand. Oh, Eileen, you are caught in the act. Okay, go Eileen. Eileen, you want to say something on the question? Ayan, parang nawala si Eileen. Sige. Okay, personally kasi we face, di ba? We face daily possibility of online fraud, identity theft, and online bullying. So we must place our entire lives in the digital world willingly. So what do? Okay, we need people who will advocate and demonstrate the kind of self-governance that will keep us safe from harm both online and offline. So digitally, take note naman, the internet is growing wild, di ba? Ang bilis lumobo ng ating internet. So this online information, we must filter this online information and we must be responsible in order for us to navigate safely and securely. Altruistically naman, we have more means now to help others. And that is thank you to technology. Kasi nga, di ba, ngayon pwede na tayong mag-donate anytime or kahit anywhere. Okay, and environmentally, we are continue facing various threats in our environment like climate change and etc. So as a global digital citizen, we must combat these biggest challenges and foster various solutions so that we could address these problems. Now, we have this question. How do you socialize and interact online? How is this different than communicating and interacting with people face-to-face? Sige, anyone who wants to share? How do you socialize and interact online? Ano nga ba tayo makapag-interact online? Is that the same kapag kausap natin yung pag maki-interact tayo ng face-to-face? If not, how? Anyone from the group? Bakit 23 na lang tayo? Kanina 30 tayo. What? Dayrish. Okay, Dayrish, may I hear from you? How do you socialize and interact online? How is this different than communicating and interacting with people face-to-face?
Sir, sa tingin ko po kapag sa personal po na interaction, makikita mo po yung expression nila. Kapag sa online naman po, parang konti lang yung makikita mo. Kunyari yung mga gusto nilang sabihin, pero yung totoong expression nila hindi niyo po nakikita.
Okay, thank you very much, Darius, for that answer. No, tama siya, no? Because how do we convey that certain message might be different from what the people is saying. Okay, so how about the others? How about the others? How do you socialize and interact online? Sige, tanungin nga natin si Ivy. Ivy, paano ka makipag-socialize and interact online? Kung sa face-to-face is Non-stop ang kwento mo, ganun din ba sa online? How? Ivy? Ivy?
Sir, there
Okay.
are limit Sir,
Yes.
Sir,
Go.
there are limitations pa rin, sir, lalo na kapag hindi ka kilala yung kausap, ganun, sir. However, kapag online naman, sir, kapag yung mga friends, ganun, parang normal pa rin, sir, na nakikipagtawanan via messenger, ganun, sir.
So what do you usually do, Ivy, kapag once na someone misinterpreted your message?
Sir, I experienced that na kasi, sir, parang meron kaming conflict, ganun, sir. Pero, syempre, in-explain ko naman yung sa side ko, sir, and then yung sa side niya. However, siguro dahil na rin sa hindi kasi maiiwasan kapag ka nainis siya, sir, gano'n. Lalo na, sir, kapag, example kasi, sir, sa experience ko, ang parang 'di ba bumili kasi ako, sir, online gano'n, tapos hindi
Mhm.
hindi kasi kami nagkaintindihan, sir, ng seller.
Mhm. So how do you manage that one? Parang may naririnig ba kayo? Parang nawala si Ivy. Ivy, nakikipag-away ka naman na ata sa sa online seller. Ay, na-disconnected daw si Ivy. Okay, sige. So, ganon. So, how about the others? Meron dyan sa comment, sa chat box natin. According to Bill Jim, yung iba hindi nagpa-participate, bahala kayo. You are not participating even in the comment section. Okay. Yan, sige. Bill Jim, will you try to, do you want to read, share it with your classmate? This might be a good wisdom for them also.
Sir, it's not the same po kasi sa online po. Kasi ang hirap po ibigay yung message na gusto mo pong sabihin. Kaya po nang sinasabi po kanina, based sa facial expression po, sir, masasabi mo kung ano talagang kino-convey. Pero dito sa online po, sir, ang hirap po kasi kailangan ka pang gumamit ng mga emojis. Minsan, sir, nami-misinterpret pa po. Mas lalo kapag nagkaroon po ng typo or something po. And then, sa mga tamad naman po na mag-type, sir, na katulad ko po, ang hirap po sabihin yung gustong sabihin kasi ang limited po ng mga word ko po. And then, sa mga kung video call naman, sir, ang hirap din po kasi, sir, hindi po kami pare-pareho po ng internet connection po. Minsan, sir, mahina, minsan malakas po, kaya yung nagkakaroon din po ng conflict imbes na makapag-usap po ng mabuti, sir, naghihintayan po tulad po nung may pinagawa po kayo sa amin, sir, naghihintayan po kami kasi ang hirap po ng internet connection po. Marami pong nadi-DC, and then imbes na yung time po na na-designate po na yun yung time, naghihintayan po hanggang sa na-delay lang po, sir. Yun po yung mga nagiging problema po online, sir, kumpara sa may face-to-face, sir, na ang bilis mong sabihin yung gusto mong sabihin, sir. And then talagang mararamdaman mo yung thought niya kung maganda ba yung thought na magkakasabi niya, sir, gano'n.
Oo, kung pabuliyaw ba, kung pa-soft, okay? So that is the limit of kaya nga minsan ang ginagawa, 'di ba, kapag may na-receive tayong message, usually ginagawa natin, tinatawagan natin. Bakit ano yung gusto mong sabihin, 'di ba? Just to clarify what he or she is trying to say. Okay, yung iba naman is open and active, yung iba naman is, si Mike naman is, yung kay Mike, parang meron siyang tinype kanina. Sensitivity, ayan, that's very good, no? You are sensible, you're sensitive in online communication. Ayan, sige. Okay, next question is, what roles do you play with these communities? So, kasali ba kayo sa mga, what are your online worlds? What are your digital worlds aside from social media? Meron pa ba kayong other digital worlds? Okay, what are the expectations within these various communities? How do you know what these expectations are? So halimbawa kanina sa English major na I learned from them na aside from social media, yung iba is engaged like international tutorial, others are engaged in entertainment business. May mga ganun din pala silang mga online world. So kayo, meron pa ba kayong mga what do you play in, for example, muna, sa basic muna tayo, Facebook community. Who among of you here belongs to Facebook community? What roles do you play in this community? Sige. Sino ang gustong mag-share? Sige, ano ang role na piniplay ninyo dito sa Facebook community? Are you the type who influence others by creating contents? Or are you the type of just sharing? Anyone from the group? Sino? Sige, si Christine Joy Marcelo nga. Di ko pa naririnig si Christine Joy Marcelo. What online community you belong with? Christine? Wala. Si Ruben. Ruben Jamia Dona. Wow, very good. Makakasama na kayong tatlo dyan. Okay, anyone from you? Ano yung role? What are the various online community that you belong with? And then what are the roles you play within these communities? Anyone from your group? Kasi dito sabi ni, for example, may nagsabi dito na he belongs to a certain e-games community for recreation. So if you belong to this certain community, how are you able to know na what are the expectation from these communities? Na kasi kasali ka sa community na yan, ano expectation na galing sa iyo? So paano mo nalaman yung expectation na ito? May nag-orient ba? May nagsabi ba? Meron ba dito? Belongs to a different community? Yes, Jim.
Sir, ewan ko kung community ito, pero I belong to a writers community, I believe. And ang role po na parang play ko is that as a writer, for example, I am an official writer of the Gazette or the University Gazette. My role was to deliver, tapos mag-create ng news. If I was the assigned writer, kinukup or nilalagay ko po sa news lahat ng meron, pero bahala na po yung edit. Also, as a writer, I am using my sabihin kung ano yung mga issues. For example, noong may issue doon sa magsasaka, ginamit ko yung issue ng magsasaka para i-display or i-portray yung inequality ng mga na-receive ng magsasaka from the government. And ngayon, pandemic, I use my pen to deliver the message na active listening and conversation ay mahalaga. I know that every individual, lahat sa atin, we have our personal responsibilities and roles, and we must use these roles to give an impact to someone's life.
Okay, very good, Jim. No, you belong to a certain writer community online. So how are you able to know na this is the expectation from you? How are you able to know na ito yung role mo? Na-orient ba kayo? And everything?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Actually, specific role ako doon sa club ng Torch. But then it is everyone's role na matuto how to create
Yes.
and news. We have joined. And luckily, I was able to learn so much from those. And I think na meron akong role na na-play whenever I am writing.
Okay, that's very good of you, Jim. Na meron naman dito nag-share, kasali daw siya sa isang Facebook community sa isang private group na kung saan this private group are sharing experiences nila during this pandemic. And by these experiences of others daw is natututo daw siya out of these stories and na-apply daw niya yan sa kanyang life. And that's very good. Okay, so yun, yung mga roles natin. Minsan kasi ang roles natin is to participate or just listen or just an intake. Sometimes naman tayo naman yung nagbibigay ng content itself. Just like what Jimwell is doing. Okay? So next one is, supposedly we will be having a breakout room for this. But since we're lacking out of time, we will proceed to the next activity. We will try to compare sana dito two communities, online and offline. What are their similarities and what are their differences? But since you already shared, okay, your experiences both online and offline, I think that's enough. Okay? And then we also have here, so how to be a digital citizen. So we have here various what do you call this one? Various statements in which it tells na, is this an example of being a good digital citizen? What are the rights or responsibilities being demonstrated? What possible consequences may occur because of the action on each scenario? What would you do differently to make the scenario an example of being a good digital citizen? Ayan, nakuha nyo ba yung mga tanong? Pwede bang kumuha kayo ng kahit isang tanong lang dyan? And then may flash akong statement, then you answer. Kahit isang tanong lang. Kahit yung, is this an example of being a good digital citizen? Okay, so these are the scenarios. Okay, first, yan, Jimwell, basahin mo nga, iyaan, Jim.
Jimwell needs to print his homework in the computer lab. He inserts his USB drive from home into the computer. A message pops up that the security scan has detected a virus. He really needs his homework. So he opens and prints it anyway.
Okay, so out of that scenario, sinong gustong sumagot kahit isang tanong lang dito? Anyone from the group, yung mga hindi pa nagre-recite? Yan, patapos na ang term natin hindi pa kayo nagre-recite sa klase natin. Sino? Sige, pakinggan nga rin natin si... sino kaya? Anyone? Volunteer? Mike. O ikaw nga, Mike. Dahil birthday mo naman. Happy birthday, Mike. You answer that one. Ito yung scenario. So, you answer kahit isa lang. Doon sa question. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Saglit lang po.
Okay. Sige.
Anong gagawin dyan, sir?
Oh, Mike, out of, porque birthday mo, out of this scenario, you answer one question out of these are the questions. Okay? Is this an example of being a good digital citizen? Why or why not? O yun na lang. Or mamili ka dyan kung anong gusto mong sasagutin dyan. You like to go back in the scenario?
Sige, sir.
Okay.
I think, sir, Jimwell, parang may kulang pa siya sa pagiging digital literate person. Siyempre, we are all aware naman na nagkakaroon ng pop-up yung computer pag nag-insert tayo ng flash drive. May tendency kasi na may virus yung flash drive natin. Yun nga yung sinasabi niya dun sa pop-up. Pero kasi, sir, sa experience din naman natin kadalasan minsan hindi rin masyadong totoo yung sinasabi ng computer kapag, kasi sinasabi nila, wala lang nangyayari sa computer, ganyan, hindi naman nag-virus. Which is, naman itong, sasabihin ko lang po, ang Windows 10 po kasi is very independent na po siya. Strong na po siya kahit wala na po tayong antivirus na may lagay. So, ba't kasalanan kami ni Jim? Po, tawag doon, siguro dito sa statement po dito sa base, pag titignan lang natin itong example, very wrong po. Pero siguro very literate din siyang person, kaya niya in-ignore yung pop-up message po.
Okay, siguro he knows the consequences na already, no, based on his experiences. Okay? Next. Wag na natin itong kasi may gagawin tayong activity. Na the same lang din ito, various scenarios. You will just continue later on this one. I'll be giving it asynchronously. So let's sum it up. Based on your overall understanding, collaborate using a Google Docs to come up with 10 attributes or values that describe a responsible global digital citizen. Okay? So, para to to accomplish this task, who among of you here has laptop? Open their laptop. Kung hindi na open, kailangan i-open to accomplish this task. Sino naka-open ang laptop ngayon? Kasi kailangan natin, you need to encode your answer. Kahit 4 lang. 1 na siguro sa Filipino group, 1 for Filipino group. Or can we have, sige, 1 for Filipino group. For science, sige, kahit mag-2 groups lang tayo sa science. Sige, Jimwell. Then, sino pang naka-open? 1 for boys na lang, 1 for girls. Masyadong marami ba ang girls? Sino naka-open sa girls? Sino naka-open sa girls? Anyone? Rosemary, naka-open yung mo? Ay, si Rose. Yan, di ba? Rosemary, ba't di ka nagsasalita, Rosemary? Ha? Okay, ganito ang gagawin natin. We have 3 rooms. Ayan, robot. We have 3 rooms. So, isang room for Jimwell, dun pupunta ang boys. Isang room for Rosemary, dun pupunta ang girls. Then, isang room na lang for Filipino group. What you will do is all of you, okay, everyone must have a certain answer. May isang sagot dapat. Nakuha? Yung isang sagot na yon, lahat kayo may isang sagot. So ano yung based on the instruction, come up with 10 attributes or values. So yung mga may laptop will open a Google Docs and then doon magsasagot yung bawat isa. Naintindihan? Kapag unable to open a Google Docs yung mga walang laptop, sabihin nyo na lang through chat. Okay? For example, dapat may isang value and then you try to explain it kahit as very simple sentence lang. Naintindihan? Okay, sige. So, you go now to your respective rooms. Nakikita nyo ba yung mga rooms ninyo? Sige, Donna V, I will transfer nyo na lang sa isang room. Doon ka na sa boys kasi wala namang palang masyadong boys dun sa group. Donavi, doon ka lang kila Jimwell, ah. Jewel, doon ka na kila Jim. Zara, doon ka na rin kila Jim. Krisha, doon ka na kila Jim. Clarissa, you go to Filipino group. Jubilin to Filipino group.